Hello, welcome back to the Friends of Zeus podcast. This is episode 248. Is that correct, Michael?
That is correct.
Thank you, thank you. Once I got it without having to have help. Tonight we've got a mixed bag of guest host and host. Desiree was not able to make it, so we have Lena here. Not That's not why I wanted Lena to come on because what we're talking about tonight. We had a really interesting conversation today, don't you think? Like we
I'm
didn't
very.
agree, but we didn't get angry at each other. We just You called
Oh,
me naive.
absolutely
You
not.
did call me naive, but but I am. But
I'm gonna enlighten you on that subject only. Other than
Oh,
that, you're
I
great.
can, sure, take an air of superiority. That's fine.
Hmm.
Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about these recent ICE raids. Is that correct? Is that what we all agreed on?
Sure.
Yes,
I,
I
I
think.
believe so.
Carl?
Yeah, I think so.
And our reactions to it, how we feel about it, were they justified, were they not justified, and so on. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation, and a lot of this is just from my interaction with Lena about it today because she had a few really interesting insights on this that
Okay.
if she doesn't remember to bring them up, then I will reiterate them. But
Okay.
yeah, let's get rolling.
Well, I also want to say welcome back to our old friend of the show, Tor.
Exactly.
Hey, Tor.
Thanks,
T-O-A-R.
guys. Good to be here.
All
It's good to
right.
have you here,
Awesome.
Tor.
He's one
Yeah,
less
and
year, I
also,
think.
yeah, and Tor wanted to get into some other stuff as well that maybe will come up in the conversation. It sounds to you guys, you viewers missed it. We just had a nice conversation going on between Zeus and Tor about a different subject, but I'm sure things will be interesting tonight. So Tor, welcome.
Glad to be back.
Let me see. So yeah, just
Welcome.
to get the ball rolling, our viewers, if you watch us, you probably watch the news, so you know what's been going on in as far as the Trump administration and the crackdown on illegal immigration and the use of ICE officers and Customs and Border Patrol. But things have specifically come to a melting point, I believe, in Minnesota, specifically in Minneapolis, in the state of Minnesota. Now, what happened a couple of months ago, just to refresh some memories, there was a major fraud scandal that came out of the city of Minneapolis area regarding Somali immigrants who basically were defrauding the state, the taxpayers, the Fed of what was it, billions of dollars, Mike?
Yes.
It's billions, yeah.
Billions of dollars. And so that created sort of a national story, a national uproar. In the center of it was Governor Walz, who used to be the vice presidential candidate. He almost became our vice president. And that was the story, and it got national interest. And I think as a result from that, Minneapolis took the hit, where the what they would consider the Eye of Sauron, the immigration empire, decided, okay, we need to send a lot of troops down to Minneapolis. Now, I will at least concede that. I think it did have something to do with the Somali fraud. I
Well,
don't think it was.
and
I
may
don't
I
think it was
interject real
random. Like, let's just hit Minneapolis. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was a big part of it. But be that as it may, the feds went in, thousands of agents, and since then it's just been a hornet's nest. It's been a hotbed for arrests, and not just of illegal immigrants. And so I wanted to talk about what you guys thought about what's happening
Well,
on the ground there, and then also the possible ramifications of it. I can go through the entire timeline, but as most people probably know already, two American citizens have been killed. Again, numerous arrests, but it hasn't been a one-sided affair. There's been very illegal activities, in my opinion, legal obstruction on the hands of American citizens that are going beyond what I think is protest, and that's what I want to talk about with you guys. Like, what do you think is actually happening in
yeah, and
Minneapolis, and what does it mean, big picture, if anything?
well, I've had a discussion with this with a few people, and my feeling is like everybody feels like Somalis are being attacked, and what my feeling is it's not my fault that the major uh, community of people that are causing these problems are Somali. Like if you're gonna, and I bet Tor's gonna have something to say. Is in some cases we have to paint with broad strokes. So we know that most of the people that are doing these crimes are Somali. It's not that we're being racist to Somalis. We simply know that if we want to get to the heart of something, that currently the people that are committing these crimes, most of them happen to be Somali.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with Somalis, but what I do have a problem with is this group of people that are committing these crimes that happen to be Somali.
Yes,
Do
absolutely.
you see the difference with what I'm saying? It's not.
Absolutely. I'm just
I'm
gonna
not
give
an
you one small
anti-Somalian. I mean, I don't even fucking. I mean, I know some Somalians, I'm sure, but
I'm
but
just gonna give you one small example. It's been years and years that Iran is banned. Iran is under a terrorist country. No Iranian has been out and protesting, and the why you don't mention that the Iranian people are good, but the government is bad, or whatever.
we're
Iran is
on board with
banned,
that. We've been saying that for a while.
right? So no,
Wouldn't
no,
you
no.
agree,
I'm
Mike?
saying the government, it says Iran banned. They don't sit and review cases by cases that let me see, are you from government? Now that the country is banned, let me have you in, let me have your family in, but just, like Iran is banned, done. When they have a sanction, Iran is banned. It's not like the sanction is not on this family, but it is on this family. It's always like that. When majority is doing something, when the whole country is doing something, we call them out on
Right.
that. It's not only like being racist. And what is problem with this country actually is we took too far on being politically correct, and this is a code for taking away the freedom of speech. From my experience, where I'm coming from, I've seen it firsthand. It's not about feeling, it's about policies, politics, principles, democracy, that all these liberals are just fighting for it. Aren't we talking about the democracy? What I have problem with is that these people don't have principles. These people think everything is feeling. If you want to
Mm.
be really protecting someone, some criminals, you're going to be their lawyer, you're acting like their lawyer. Tell me what's their name.
Well, here's
All
another
you
thing to
people
that.
that are, like going and interrupting the fucking ICE operation, it's not a
What
joke.
what bothers me about that, what you just said, is that there's this disloyalty in that you're living in a country where you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want and disagree with it, but you're disagreeing with the people that are giving you those rights to disagree. And if we were back in a place of like political discourse or polite discourse, for instance, a great thing that really resonates in my head. Do you guys remember? Maybe you don't, but Reagan and Mondale in a debate, and Mondale, I forget what Mondale was saying. I don't have any bones with Mondale or anything, but Reagan basically comes back with a joke like I perfectly understand my opponent's lack of experience and knowledge in this. Like he he was polite. He made a little joke, a little dig, but then they both laughed. They got both kind of thought it was funny. Reagan was pretty funny at times. Are you familiar with that, Mike? I'll bet you are.
Yeah, the interview or the host, whatever, the person running the debate or
Moderate.
moderator asked Reagan or intimated that his age was a factor in the election. And what was Reagan's response? Or he said, a lot of people are saying age is a factor in this election. What is your response to that? And he said, he's like, I personally, I'm not going to hold my opponent's
Lack of
naivete and
experience.
lack of experience against him, or something like that.
It would,
Yeah, and
but
Mondale laughed out loud. I mean, everyone
I would
laughed. It
love
was,
for us to get back to that place.
yeah,
Like
but
I don't. I have firm. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm
We're
saying this.
far from that, dude.
Yeah, that place
But
is
but
over,
Yeah,
man.
but
I mean
here's
that's
the
like
thing. Here's
that's
the
like
thing. I
Unfortunately.
can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm firmly in the right, and it's only because the left has gone over so far. But I'm firmly in the right now, and until things get to a more
Zeus, what's interesting is one of the things that got me back in touch with Jack to get back on here
Mhm.
was a comment that you made in the Rachel Good podcast where you said, God, I hate the left.
mm.
I kind of do.
That's kind of antithesis to what you just said, though, isn't it?
Well, no, I want the left to
He
be,
hates them, but he has a healthy argument and conversation with them.
I'm not saying
but
that. I'm saying that he wants a nice discourse and peaceful discourse, but
okay, so
you
may
said he
you
hates
know
the
what though,
left.
and here is part of my problem with the current Democratic Party is, and I'm not saying you're doing this as a, and I could look for a better term, but I'm kind of an asshole. So is the nitpicking on every little thing that is said and the feelings that get hurt. My feelings, dude, Mike probably knows, Jack probably knows, but my feelings
Who?
get hurt all the time. Like in my job, in my life, and I don't bear ill will. I just let it slide, maybe put it in my holster for a later argument, but that is my biggest problem with the left right now is that everything is an issue. We need to deal with like starving children, Iranians being killed in the streets and stacked, their bodies stacked up. Like those are the things we need to worry about. But you know what? We're kind of
Sure.
getting away from things. We wanted to talk about these ice raids, and I agree. I probably said that, but I'm angry. I'm hurt that this party that I was a firm member of for the first 45, about 50 years of my life. I'm hurt that they are doing so much that is disruptive and distracting from real things,
Okay.
real
Well,
problems.
let's put that right into Minnesota and ice. So
Uh-huh.
my first question is, do you agree that they should be anonymous and not have to wear body cams?
Absolutely, because they're getting doxxed
Should what?
left and right.
But
No, they have to wear body
They
cams.
have to wear
They have.
body cams.
Yeah, that
they
part.
don't.
They're actually getting new ones apparently.
No, a bunch of them do have body cams. Some of the footage we've gotten is from body cams, but now Tom Homan had a press conference today, and he said they're mandating them completely. Like they're
Terrific.
spending millions of dollars on them, and everybody's
Terrific.
going to have
And
them.
here's the thing, Tor, that's to protect the people that they are going against more than to protect them.
It's well, you guys made a comment in the last show about that too. You said how it backfired on liberals because they got all these cops to wear body cams, and then everybody realized that, oh, they're not bad guys.
That's true.
Yeah.
But doesn't that also go the other way, where if they're wearing body cams, they have to kind of restrain their behavior,
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I
right?
agree with
Isn't that
that.
what
So,
you want?
Yes,
Is for them
but
yeah,
to restrain their behavior?
yes, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
what's
but
wrong with them?
I don't think
I
anything's wrong with body cams.
No, the
good.
body cams are necessary. I'm just,
yeah,
what I'm saying is that it was called for by the left. And once they got it, they realized that most of these cases where the cops either have to use excessive force or, God forbid, shoot somebody, it's usually for a friggin' good reason. It's not just
correct.
like they're not Dirty Harry just blowing people away in the street.
Well,
Absolutely.
what you're seeing is again that their behavior gets mitigated by those body cams. So
maybe
Well,
it's
maybe.
if you're assuming that all cops before body cams were just body slamming
not at
people
all,
and
not at all. I think 98% of
I
cops are
love
great
cops.
people, but there are
yeah,
also some bad
okay.
cops out there,
As
right?
long as we're clear. I mean, 'cause I
But
don't think it's
let's be clear
pure.
that there are bad cops too,
Oh,
right?
of course.
That's
Yeah,
There've
what I'm
always
talking
been.
but
about.
there's bad cops like there's white nationalists and there's like trans people. It's like 3%.
Yeah,
There's
but
really not a
3%
lot of bad
wield a
cops.
lot of power and they can do some damage. So
No, I
put
agree with that. So we're all
governors
good.
on them like a
So
body cam, I think
so
is a
we're
good
all good
idea.
on body cams.
Yeah,
We all agree
love it.
on body
Say
cam.
hi.
Now,
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
as to
nothing to hide.
anonymity,
No, the problem is with the
I need you to
ideology.
walk us.
They have the feeling is going too far. What I have problem with is these people don't realize this is a fucking police operation. It's not a joke that you get to interrupt them and you think who the fuck you are. Police pulls you over for nothing, for your tag. Your tag is expired.
Hey, Lena, can
Police
you watch
pull
your
you
language,
over.
please?
What's that?
Can you watch your language?
No.
No.
I
No.
like a sailor. Sorry. Pass. You have a
Amen.
hard feeling. But police pulls you over for your tag is expired. Dare you to open your door? We don't. We know that you have to stay in your car until the police officer,
Hold your hands up.
comes to you. You don't have to, but you can't get out of your car. So what do you really think that you get out of, your way to go to a police operation? So this is the first thing. You go there.
And
Tell
that's
me
something that we
if
voted on. We've
Wait, let her-
voted on
one of
these.
these people, I swear, I bet, if one of these people know who they are defending, who is the one that is getting arrested and why? What's the reason? Do you know? And you going to protect them? Ask every single one of them. They don't. The second problem I have in previous president, we have had way more deportation and there was no protest.
That's right.
Because
No
of how it
protest.
was done, though, right?
What's that?
Because of how it was done. It has
Yeah,
not done
but
with
do you know all
anonymous
the cages,
forces.
all the pictures of cages that they showed
Awful.
with kids in? That was
Awful.
all during Obama and Biden.
Awful.
It was not during Trump. And
It was also during Trump.
nah, I haven't
No,
seen any of that.
So
he had.
what do you mean how it was done? Just because it was not recorded, we think that they rolled the red carpet for them to get out of the country?
No, but there was more due process than's going on right now, for
More
sure.
due process than this?
Yeah,
How?
absolutely.
How is the ICE operation possibly could be more or less or whatever?
Do you think
It's
these
a
people are being
criminal.
read their rights?
They're drug dealers. They're criminals. They are raping children, and that's how they find
I
them.
think all rapists and all criminals should be out of here. But now here's the thing. The administration moved the goalposts because they campaigned on, hold on. They campaigned on, we want to get all the bad criminals out, right? We want to get all the rapists, the murderers. We want to get all these people that came in under Biden. We want to get rid of them all. And then once the transition happened, it became, well, if you're illegal, you're a criminal, which is true.
Which is
And
true.
then it became,
True.
but those weren't the people that they were talking about before the election.
Oh, no, wait, Tor. I can tell you right now that they were talking about deporting the people that Biden let in. It wasn't just the criminals. I know because I voted for him.
They don't want to deport
No,
the
that's
people that
not
are working here. They don't want to deport the
That's
grandmas.
not true. They never said that. They never said that.
I
The thing is,
absolutely disagree with you,
the
Jack.
people
So
that are
what's the
getting
problem?
We'll have to
here?
see it in writing.
What's that?
We'll have
Look,
to
I
see
know I
that one
voted.
in writing.
No, I can just say for
Jack
me,
and Tor's.
part of the reason I voted for Trump was because the plan was to deport the illegal
Everybody.
immigrants.
Just everybody.
If you're
The
not
thing-
here legally, you
Yeah.
either get here legally, get in the back of the line. We're even paying people to leave.
We're also deporting people that are here legally that are going through the asylum process.
Yeah,
right?
but dude,
No,
you
no,
gotta
no.
throw the baby
No,
out
we
with
don't.
the bathwater every once in a while. I
We don't.
understand that that's not
Yeah.
just.
It's not.
I
Yeah,
understand that.
the
Go ahead,
people
Mike.
getting
But-
the people
Wait,
getting.
let Mike weigh in.
No, I'm just saying the people getting deported, the vast majority have a final order of deportation that's already been
And been
determined
vetted and
by
all that.
no by a immigration judge. That's
Sure,
the
that's
main
how
people
Obama
that they're
did it.
going over,
Right?
or they're going correct. So the idea, and we can get into this another time, but the idea of due process, there is due process. They have a final order of deportation. That's the due
Is
process.
that what's going on in Minnesota right now?
Well, they
I'm
have to
gonna
grab.
explain.
They have to get them first.
Yes, here's what's going on in Minnesota, and this is why Minnesota is such a hornet's nest. The issue and why it's not everywhere else. It's in certain cities. I live right in DC. I've seen nice people pulling people over before. Like they get out, like 2 or 3 trucks, they get out, blah blah blah. I've seen it. And sometimes once in a blue moon, you'll see someone like getting in their face about it, but not really. The reason it's such a hotbed in Minneapolis is the governor and the mayor and most of the elected officials
The
consider
lieutenant.
themselves a sanctuary city, which means that they would not let their municipal police departments contact or hold people or notify ICE when they have someone in their jail that's here illegally. In the vast majority of the rest of the country, that's not crazy like the people in power in Minnesota are. When they arrest someone or someone's drunk driving and they bring them in and they find out, oh my goodness, this person, they're in the country illegally or whatever, they've had an order of deportation or what, they've overstayed their visa or whatever, they hold them in jail for whatever their crime was, and they call ICE and like, oh, by the way, we have this guy who you have a final order of deportation for because there's a paperwork trail. We're letting him out tomorrow at noon because that's when we're supposed to let him out after the judge, after he, does
Correct.
whatever. And then the ICE would come to the jail and they would take possession of the guy and then go through the process. What Minnesota thought was a great idea was we're not going to involve the federal government. We're just going to let these guys out and just let them free. Like to the point where there were actual occasions where ICE was in the front parking lot and they're letting people out the back door, or the judge who let the guy out
Correct.
when the people.
Correct. There was
So
Right.
videos out of that.
that
Yes.
is
And
that is
and
why you're getting all of this violence because you have these guys who, and I get it, right? If I'm in the country illegally and I want to stay here and say I have some family here, I have a child here, and then the local police let me out, and then I'm like trying to get away, and if I get caught, it's my ass, and I know I'm going back to some place I may not want to go to, and then I start getting violent, or the police have to get violent, and then people are getting violent. I mean, it's so unnecessary, and that's why you don't see it outside. You really don't see. Do you ever hear any stories outside Minnesota, Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, a little bit in New York, but not really in New York? You don't see it
Well,
in
that's an
Baltimore.
interesting
You don't
point
see it in
because
DC. You don't see it. You only see it in
In sanctuary
sanctuary
cities.
cities. And the thing
and
that is
sure.
more
tiresome,
importantly to
one,
that, Mike, you only see it where the media points us
well,
to look.
and
That's important,
the
Zeus, for
one
sure.
last point about Minnesota, just
Minnesota.
my own personal outlook on it. The thing that's tiring to me is I'm supposed to pretend that the vast majority of these people who are interfering with ICE somehow have some integrity in this, which they don't. Because what I've been seeing over the
That's a very
last,
blanket statement.
it is, but I want to explain it. Over the last 5+ years, if you go back, like let's go back ancient history
Ollie, please what, Gus?
with Trayvon Martin, right? The guy he was shot and killed. It's a horrible situation. We were told that the Hispanic guy that shot him was white, and then that just got again, these people on the left, there's these organizations that are just looking for stuff to pounce on. It started really with Occupy Wall Street, but you get the Trayvon Martin, you get the hands up, don't shoot that never
Michael
happened.
Brown.
Michael Brown, you get to the George Floyd thing where it calls $30 billion in damages and 30 some people murdered during the riots of summer of 2020. Then you get into Trump, he gets elected, which somehow means we have to burn limousines in DC. You get into the whole trans and Jewish and Gaza protests on massively leftist university campuses where people are wearing keffiyehs, they're flying the Palestinian flag. You get into now it's the ICE thing. It's the thing du jour. That's why when you look at these protests, they're carrying Palestinian flags, they're wearing the keffiyehs, they've got the trans rights stuff. It doesn't even matter what the topic is. These are anarchists, these are funded by, and I'll just use the boogeyman name, Soros, other people through other organizations. People are showing up for things that just happened with signs that are professionally printed who don't even speak English, and they're printed in English and they're walking around with them. To me, the tiresome part is we have this media that keeps giving these people, these protesters,
Well,
like treating them like they have integrity when I'm old enough to have lived the last 5 years and I keep seeing the same people. And literally, there's people that are doing actual journalism where they're like, look at this guy, Joe Schmo. Here he is in Minnesota. Here he is in LA. Here
Right.
he is in Seattle at
well,
CHOP.
how about
Here he is
this?
here. He's a professional protester guy.
Right.
Let me cut in for
It's
a second,
so
Mike.
tiresome. It's
How
just so
about this?
tiresome.
The two, first of all, they weren't ICE agents that shot Richard Petty, or was it Richard
Richard
Petty?
Petty. Alex
Pretty.
Alex
Preddy.
Petty.
Pretty, yeah.
They
Preddy.
weren't ICE agents, they were Border Patrol agents.
Yeah, Customs
And
Border Patrol.
do you know their names?
They're both Spanish.
Raimundo Gutierrez and Jesus Ochoa. So
What's the
I find
relevance?
it
Well,
ironic.
but here's the other thing too, just real Alex. Here's a perfect example, and this is why I say I don't believe they have integrity to her. I know that sounds inflammatory, but I really believe
I
it.
know a lot of people that are
Is
protesting that have a lot of integrity.
I'm
So
sure there's some
that's
people, but they're being gaslit by this ridiculous media we have. You look at Alex Preddy, right? Within half an hour, it was like this guy is a nurse. He works at the VA. He's just a
he was
normal
also a
guy,
domestic terrorist, according to
right?
JD Vance,
But
in
Well,
half an
we
hour.
find out. But
a
listen,
week before
because
this, he
whoa,
had kicked
Wait, let
in
him
like
listen,
finish.
let me finish. Because we don't have a real media in our country, no one did any reporting and found out the guy had left his job 3 months earlier. His family's been concerned about him and reporting him to different people. Be like, we need to look out for our son because he's got some sort of mental issue going on. He's like super stressed out. The fact that he was caught on film at another action, not a protest. It's not protesting when you jump in front of a cop car and stop them from doing stuff. But he was caught 11 days earlier at another one where he was wearing his gun at that, which I don't have a problem with. But I do have a problem with when you go in and you're intentionally being
Obstructing.
provocative,
obstructing.
obstructing,
Obstructing.
and you're also wearing a gun. A gun, concealed
Yep.
carry or whatever, people who are actual responsible gun owners, it's for protection. It's not for instigation. And my point is, there's people out there, Tor, and
Okay.
people that you say that are like they mean nothing but the best. I have people
Thanks,
in my
buddy.
family. I've had these conversations with people in my family. I love them. They think I'm crazy. I don't think, well, they don't think I'm crazy, but we disagree
I think you're
vehemently about
crazy.
it. But my point is when you're getting, and this is my last thing on this, when you're getting fed this shovel of crap from our media about Alex Preddy, and they have this agenda, it just makes people who
Doesn't that
do
agenda
look at
exist on both sides?
Wait,
what's
they
the
even
both
doctored
sides?
they even doctored his photo to make him more
They
buff
even
and
doctored
give him
his
a tan.
photo, man. I
I
mean,
know,
if
right?
Alex
look,
Preddy
if
was called a
To make
domestic
it look
terrorist by
pretty.
JD
yeah,
Vance in the
I
first
think
half hour after the shooting.
I think
Renee
he
Good was
I'll be right
called.
back, guys.
They said that he had the shooter had absolute immunity without knowing what's going on.
The admin
yeah,
you're talking
That
about
was
the
right out of JD
administration.
Vance's mouth.
yeah. That's the
There
Yeah, you're
was no.
talking
administration.
about the administration.
That's
You're
not
not
the
talking about the
news.
media.
I'm talking
Tor,
about
you're
the
Who's
not
covering
media.
talking
that
about
though?
the media.
I'm
Who's
talking about
covering
the
that though, Jack?
media.
Who's covering that?
I'm talking
That's a
about
big
the
press
media.
conference. We're talking about the media, but that voice got out there.
Well, no, I'm not.
It
I
said,
don't know, Tor. I don't deny that the administration backed up their guys. I don't deny that they had intel on
where did they
Preddy.
do it?
I don't
But
deny that they had intel on Preddy. And I'm sorry if you're obstructing federal police officers,
you're a ter
obstructing
yeah,
like Brent. Yeah, okay, then
effed
you're a
up.
domestic terrorist.
Plus, I remember
I
January
Absolutely.
6th.
totally disagree
Remember
with you, Jack.
January 6th when all those people were going up and fighting against where no police
They
officers
weren't
were
domestic
shot.
terrorists, though, right?
Okay, but no police officers were shot. None of that was going on. And
None of them were
they
hurt.
no, I'm
No
saying, but
police officers were
those
beaten.
people were called domestic terrorists,
But
right?
weren't police officers
Insurgents.
beaten in those?
But
Yeah, of course.
So were
Absolutely.
they
Their
domestic
windows
terrorists
broken.
then?
I guess so. They were
The
definitely,
ones
they've
that
been
they
called insurgents,
the
the
ones
ones
that
right?
that they were
I'm asking you
invited to the
guys.
Capitol
The
building, the
ones that
ones
were fighting people and being violent. This is not, I mean, for
Was Alex
people,
Preddy
this
being
is not,
violent?
yes,
yeah,
yes,
he was not
absolutely. Look at the
In that
video,
instance
man.
where he was
He
shot,
was fighting, he was doing hand to hand with one of the officers, man.
he
I
yeah.
mean,
he
with,
defended a woman who
wait
was
a minute.
he
pushed.
Hey, Tor,
defended a
Tor,
woman
Tor, just
who
to
was
put things
being,
in, wait, time out. Just to put things in context about Preddy. Tor, did you see the earlier video of Preddy at the other incident that Mike's talking
That's
about?
irrelevant to how he was
No,
shot.
but did you,
no,
no,
it's
but
not.
did
It's
you
not
see
Nobody
it?
irrelevant.
knew that until
Did,
after the fact. You
Tor,
can't
did
know what
you,
his
It
intentions
speaks to
Tor,
were.
him. It
Tor,
speaks
did
to
you
him.
see it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so then we know the guy's mental state. The guy brought a gun to obstruct federal officers.
Spitting on cars,
The
kicking and
officer, whether the officer was properly handling that woman or not, if I have a gun, I'm not allowed to get in the Fed's face and start scuffling with him. I'm not allowed to
Absolutely.
do
He
that.
went to
I'm
He does
defend the
not.
sorry.
woman. He checked on her first. His back was to the people. He still had his phone in his hand.
was he on the sidewalk in the yard or in the middle of the street?
At the point where he was with the woman, he was on the sidewalk, I believe.
And he was in the street. To me, that's as soon as I saw it, I was like, he's in the street. I mean,
So he
again,
should get shot.
No, no
but he
one's saying
shouldn't.
he should
But
get
Okay,
shot.
no, it's
let's
horrible
say,
that he got shot. But
okay,
he's
can
the
I
one
say
that put
something here?
himself in that
To your point.
situation. Yeah.
Okay, to your
Sure.
point, you're saying that he was defending a woman, which is not his place, first of all, because it's a police operation. But let's say he was defending. Why, when the officer went to him and say stop and back off, he didn't say,
You're
okay,
talking
I'll
about
back
a
off.
second and a half of reaction.
Exactly.
He's got
Exactly.
8 men
Why
on top.
Exactly.
Why he didn't be
Yeah.
like, yes, officer, sorry, I'll back off. Why he has to fight if you have nothing?
He didn't swing any punches. He held
Well,
his phone for most of it.
Toward the reason why it is
They
relevant.
told him to
I mean,
back off.
the reason
They
it's
told him to
relevant
back off.
of what he did days earlier. Here's why it's relevant. Again, this never gets
Exactly.
reported. He was on Signal chats, right? He had been doing this for weeks where he would get on, he'd drive around, he would obstruct
And it's not
ICE
a
doing stuff.
computer game.
It
These
was
officers don't have 9 lives to wait and this
to find
fucking
out.
you to
I'm
shoot
saying
at.
he was purposely, he knew exactly what he was doing. He was going out to disrupt, and this is
Sure.
what happened. This is why
Let
you
me
don't do
interject
it.
Wait,
This is why
Zeus.
you
Stop
don't
by
do it.
doing that.
I
Wait,
really need
Zeus.
to get this out.
FAFO is what you're saying.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess.
You
But
play
not
stupid
really.
games,
That's
win
fine.
stupid prizes.
That's
I
great.
don't
I need
want
to
people
get this
getting
across
killed.
because
Okay.
this is
People
something
getting
that.
killed.
All right, wait, time out. Let Zeus go ahead, and then I want to say one other thing.
So, Lena and I had a conversation, and I don't even think that she realized the import of what she said. But it really resonated with me. Because I was talking about these icy. I was saying that if we're gonna take a hit on something, this guy maybe from a right perspective, that's the one you take the hit on because he did not brandish the firearm.
I think it went
But
off.
well, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. He was an instigator to a degree, but they may have, and I think we can all agree, they may have gone a little overboard with it.
I don't
And
think so.
to that, but wait, let me finish.
Like Tor said, it's a split second.
It's a split second.
Yeah, right. It's a split second thing. And what Lena said, and I found this very interesting because we were talking about I've been buying some guns and we need to go to the range and all. And she said this, and I don't know if this was your intent, but she said when you're standing on a shooting range, guns are going off all around you, but you're not in that place in your head of I'm going to be shot at. You're not a target. And I found that really profound. I can't really nail down why I feel this way, but I feel like that is a very important point to make is that the context of the situation has a lot of bearing on this. And to be fair, whether ICE agents are wrong, whether they're right, they have targets on their backs. And to your question about whether they should wear masks, Tor, I absolutely believe they do because whether they're right or whether they're wrong, they've got targets on their backs. So when somebody
I think
screams,
that's part of the job,
hold
though,
on,
dude.
hold on.
Well,
hold
yeah,
on.
but they're doxing these people.
No, it's
Right,
not
they're
part of the
doxing
job.
these people.
How?
And that's the
They've
I
problem.
mean,
been
how they're
anonymous the
doing
whole
it.
time.
Their lives are being threatened. Their
Yeah.
families are being
Nobody
threatened.
knows who they
Their
are.
homes
And
are.
again,
They
to
were.
go back
That's
to
why
the
they started
point,
wearing them.
They've
go
been
back
wearing
to the
masks the
point
whole
that
time,
the two
Mike.
people,
No, not-
that shot this guy were Raimundo. I can't remember the last
Yeah,
name.
we already
and
talked
Jose.
about the two guys.
But the point is like that has to be part of this, man. These are
Wait.
people that came to America, went through the process, and became literally Border Patrol agents.
Wait,
so are we
wait.
going to just say that they're invalid?
Yeah, we either have laws or we don't have laws. I mean, if
Right.
we don't have laws,
Absolutely.
But again, to Lena's
Absolutely.
credit, I don't know if that's what you intended with what you were saying, but it really hit me home.
These can I can piggyback on that point because you're right. These guys do have targets on their back. Okay, that's That's obvious at this point. But what I'm saying is my problem isn't just with the media. It's not, these people are not acting the way they are just because of the media. I mean, well, one, Trump's doing it, not Obama. So that's a big part of it. I'm
Right.
sorry, but the hatred for Trump,
Absolutely is.
It's so
the hatred
irrational.
for Trump has affected this country in ways I can't
I
even
couldn't
believe.
imagine. I can't believe it.
But here's my other
I
problem.
don't love the guy, but I
It's
like
not
him.
my other problem with the situation is not just the media, it's the politicians in power down there. Because at no point, you have a governor who compared the situation to Fort Sumter, who's
Yeah.
threatened to call his National Guard to go up against the federal agents. And also, at no point, even when two people were shot, at no point did Waltz or Ellison or the lieutenant governor, at no point did they say, "Hey, folks, go home.
Right.
Just go
Calm
home."
down.
Go
How
home.
about
These guys are here to do a job.
right?
This is congressional legislature. It's been passed by a democratically elected Congress. These guys have the right to enforce federal law. Please go home so nobody else gets hurt.
It's
They never
They've
done that.
never said
No,
that.
because they want more blood in the
Well,
streets.
listen,
Exactly.
if you're calling people, and this point's been made by a million people before me, but if you're calling people Gestapo and Nazis and everything, as a human being, aren't you morally obligated to go against those like if someone
What was the
if I'm
big
being called a
cheer that you got
Gestapo
in the
or a
Clinton
Nazi,
in Trump's first election? What was the big cheer that they all said when Hillary Clinton's name was brought up?
They said lock her up.
lock her
They
up.
sure did, right? That's
Yeah.
2016.
And then
So
Democrats
where did this all
actually
come
tried to
from?
do it.
Where did this all come
Wait,
from?
what? You have a
What?
problem with the idea of locking up Hillary Clinton?
I have a problem when you're talking about it as your political opponent. Yeah.
So what happened during the time Trump was in office for 4 years and they tried these 93 crap ass fake
In,
indictments?
indictments.
I mean, I don't remember the outcry then from the media. They were all about it. They would
And
have
to
this
be
guy
fair,
executed
it's
if they
been a
could.
left.
You
It's
guys
been
are
a
Wait a
left
minute.
saying that
run.
it's like one of the reasons I wanted to come back is
Carl
because
had a
you guys
good
paint
point.
with very
Let him
strong,
finish.
broad
He
Yeah.
was
brush.
really straight on point. Like he was going on point. Let's not go out of like
Yeah.
just a non-relevant thing. Carl had a really on point. Go ahead and finish what you were saying because I want to add some stuff to exactly what you are talking about. Just on point. We're
Oh,
talking about ICE. We're talking about police operation and how they get interfered and what's the price for that.
no, I was just saying that the politicians in power over these people never told them to just go home and be safe. They never did it once. They encouraged it.
Because they don't want it.
Look, all these
Sure.
people have the fantasy that this is the Gestapo, and if I take one little Somali child and hide it in my attic, then I feel like I'm helping Anne Frank. They've taken this
So-
into fantasy land. Fantasy
Exactly,
land.
but I bet you right now, give them one of these people that they are there, one child, give them one family. Let me see if they accept it. They're just there to pretend to feel good. They smoke weed all day and then they go out on this protest to feel good. You want to be a good lawyer? Go to the college. No, of course your ass is lazier than that to be a lawyer to protect whoever that you're thinking you're protecting. And I have a list here actually on my phone. The people that have been arrested, they have been actually raping children. The ICE agency is the biggest agency in America that helps with the trafficking children. The biggest. Imagine. So they're the biggest, the most people that they have actually arrested with ICE have been the people that are involved in the trafficking children. This is not a joke. So who we are really pretending that we are.
Yeah, Lena.
Yeah, good point, Lena.
And,
Lena,
Good
and
point.
not only that, I have one other problem with these people. These people needs to be respectful to law and order. Just like as you said, January 6th, I was out there, but I didn't go to the Capitol. We were very peaceful. We didn't. And honestly, yes, I saw the officers opening the gates, but I didn't go in. I didn't see
Thank God.
myself to go in. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I
Wow.
didn't. I came home and then all of a sudden in the news, I've seen shooting and, Kamala comes there and said, "We never forget." Yes, they shot that woman that went in the Capitol, did nothing, did not interfere with the police operation, nothing. They were just looking around. Oh, beautiful, beautiful building. Nothing.
There were
And they
no
got
police that got
shot.
beat that day.
And everybody, what's that?
There were no police that got beat that day.
No police got beat, you saying?
I'm asking on January 6th. No police got beat that day.
No, no, there
Okay.
was none. There was none.
None.
There were definitely
No, I'm sure some police took a few lumps.
Oh, no,
Tor. Absolutely.
After shooting,
Evidently
after
not.
the shooting, yes. After the shooting, yes. Because all of
Well
a sudden
before that,
someone
what's your
started
timeline?
yelling. What's that?
What's your timeline? How are you establishing that at all? With
Yeah,
credibility.
but no one. Here's the thing.
How is
Here's
anybody
I'm not
establishing any
following.
credibility with Jan 6? Jan 6
Well,
is
a
a
lot of
fucking
people
shit
a lot of
show.
people had to go through due process and get they had to be pardoned after that because they were
Wait a minute. Wait, there
Wait, wait.
wait. There were people sitting in solitary confinement for years before they even got their
Before
trial.
they even
And
got
at
a
the end of the
trial.
day,
Sure.
and at the end of the day,
You're talking about anecdotes, Jack.
not one person was charged
With
with
insurrection.
what they labeled them. Okay, not one of them. They didn't have a
Nobody
case.
was charged with beating police.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about to the level of insurrection.
Okay, but again, people
Yeah,
that are
police
found
got hurt,
guilty.
Tor. It was a riot out
It was a
front. I mean,
riot.
obviously, police got hurt. No
Yeah,
one's denying
that's
that.
going to happen
just
in
did.
that situation.
Well,
No,
Lena
I-
said she didn't. Lena was there and didn't see any cops being
That's a
assaulted.
big
was
difference
there too.
between
Not
not
until
seeing
they
it.
went inside, and then all of a sudden the tension started. First, the officer opened the gate, and I was like, "No, man, I just don't want to go there." No, but I go
Nobody
home and
broke
I
in.
see all of a sudden I see what
Okay.
happened. The officer opened the gate. They were like, "Okay, come on in," and then all of a
Okay.
sudden inside the building, yes, there was tension, there was shooting. I get it, but I'm saying to that point that they opened the gate, no police officer was involved, no attack, no fight, no nothing.
The thing
Until
is,
they got to the building.
look, there were 300,000 conservative estimate people in DC that day that were down at the Ellipse, and I would say a decent percentage of them marched down towards the Capitol. There's a million people that have a million different perspectives of what happened that
Of course.
day, and there were 100%. There were people and police officers fighting. There were people fighting the police officers. There were police officers hitting people with flashbangs and sticks and everything else. It was a riot. It was a riot. And
Sure.
the people, I mean, I 100% disagree with people getting pardoned who were violent that day. There's a big difference. But because of how it was so blown out proportion, how it's an insurrection, people still tell me this. Even though there were like 300,000 people in DC that day, how many people were actually violent? A couple hundred, maybe.
Well,
I mean,
and-
this
and-
is
and-
my point
enough.
is.
Wait, and how
a
many
lot.
of them? Wait,
Enough.
and how many of them were feds?
And how?
Come
But
on,
my
Jeff.
point is, listen. My point is, even if I do grant that because I saw it with my own eyes. But that's not what happened afterwards. Was not justice tour. What happened afterwards was pillorying the president, the entire administration, everyone that was there, all of
Sure.
Trump's supporters. It's an insurrection. 1,400 people went to jail, which was most of them nonviolent, some of
Sure.
them octogenarians, and to have to be in this perspective and then to see what happened this summer of 2020, to see what's going on in Minnesota and all this, and then to have the same media telling me that there's nothing to see here. This is the police being violent, or the police are going crazy.
Well,
Like these guys
and-
want to
Yeah,
go
we're just
out
not-
and just beat
Mike,
up
we've had this
citizens for no
discussion
reason.
Right, we're just
before
not buying it.
I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
Well, and we've had this discussion before, Mike, that the perspective was so altered. Like, I still feel to this day that if they would have drawn the cameras back on the insurrection, that it would look.
It wasn't an insurrection,
far
dude. No one was
less-
trying to take over the government. I mean, that's
But,
Yeah.
but you understand what I'm saying?
infantile to say that.
They
pull
were
the
kind of trying to
cameras
take over.
back,
They
the
like-
government.
how were they trying to take over the government?
They
What was
wanted
the
to
plan?
stop Pence.
It was
But
the
like-
worst insurrection
Hold on,
ever.
hold on,
because, like,
hold on.
almost
Wait,
no one was
what about
armed.
the fake electors? Was that nothing that really
They
happened?
weren't fake electors. You're allowed to look during an election. This has been going on forever. Okay. When you have an election, there's been elections that are disputed, even back in the 60s, even before that, going back to the 1800s. When things are in dispute, and say Tor and I are running, and the initial thing is Tour won. And I'm like, whoa, man, I think there's some shenanigans going on here. I want to challenge this. It's
What's
totally
your recourse?
legit to challenge it. Okay.
Agree. What's your
Okay.
recourse?
Listen, during that process, and this is another thing the media
What's the
never
process?
talks
That's what
about.
I'm asking.
Right. The process is when you go in and the Senate and the House
No.
have,
What's the process for challenging
that's what I'm
the
saying.
results
It's
of an
Senate. And
election?
what was happening on January 6th
No,
is
The process for challenging the election happens in the courts.
no,
And
but
they
let
had
me
60 different court cases
no, that's
that all got rejected because there
no.
was no
They didn't even look
evidence of
at them for
fraud.
it. They didn't
They
even
didn't
look at
look
them.
at
And we're
any
not
of it.
talking about fraud.
Okay.
You're talking about electors. We're jumping around here. I'm going back to the electors. It is completely legitimate and has happened a bazillion times. You can look it up where when things are in dispute, the person who's on the losing side is allowed to select electors that support them to go to stand in case this happens. Because if it gets
Gus,
overturned and you don't
come
have your
here.
electors set up, you don't win
So
either.
what
This
gets
is a
overturned? What are you saying that Mike Pence, if Mike Pence decided not to certify the election, which is what they wanted him
It
not to
could have
do?
happened that way. Look, elections are
That's the point, though.
political
So, right, there's
processes.
peaceful
It's not a
transfer of
judicial
power.
process. Elections are political processes. They're
Guys,
not judicial
guys,
processes.
we
No,
need a
but it does
Gus
become a
break.
judicial process because they took 60 different court cases to talk about fraud,
It's
and all of them were thrown out.
And
I'm
isn't
not
it
There was
funny
no
talking
that
about
now?
election
And,
fraud.
fraud.
wait,
I'm
and
not
isn't it
talking
funny
about
that now the
fraud.
fraud is actually being exposed?
If they don't
But
want us to
Guys,
do that.
guys.
let's
Yeah.
talk
Gus
about
break.
Minnesota because I
Yeah.
have a big
Okay.
question
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that
have
I
Let's.
think
one
is
question
and
for
ice.
Tor.
Wait.
Hold on,
Wait.
please.
Wait. Time out. Time
Let's get
out,
back
guys.
to ice. I feel bad
Time
that I
out for
derailed
Gus
it a little bit
break.
with Jan 6. I have a very important question about ice.
Yeah.
Do you think that they are being properly trained?
100%. I have a family member that's part of the border patrol, and most of these people, like they tried to say that the guy that shot Renee Good was like some flunky that just got a job a week ago. He's been doing it for like 15, 16 years.
Are
He
you
was
guys
Again, they
ignoring the
absolutely
lied.
Gus
doing the
break?
wrong thing as far as what you should
Come here,
do to
baby.
try to stop a vehicle, correct?
He was right in front of a vehicle,
That's
and no,
exactly right. That's not what you're supposed to do when you're with a vehicle
you're
because
not. A police
Wait.
officer's
Wait.
not
So
hold
supposed
it's
to
on,
his
hold
stop a
on, hold
fault.
vehicle.
on.
Are
I've
supposed to
talked a
do
lot of
that.
law enforcement about this. You
Okay,
can't stop a car with yourself, with your
okay.
body.
A
You're
car
not
that's
supposed to put
moving back
yourself
and
at risk.
forth.
It wasn't moving back and
So they
forth. You
just let
walked
your
around it
police
and
officers
stood in
just
front of it.
police officers just let people go. They were told her
You,
they gave her
you're
an order
not
to get out of
supposed
the
to
car.
stand in front of a vehicle
Okay,
because it's
so
not a
it's his
battle you
fault.
can
So now
win.
we're victim
They
blaming.
already told
It's
her
his
to get
fault.
Hold
out of the
on.
car.
Hold on.
It's his
Procedure.
fault.
You're not supposed to stand in front of a car because a car, you can't win that battle. You are taught, you're trained not to stand in front of a
Wait a
car.
minute. Wait. Hey, Tor.
That's
Remember what Mike
absolutely
was.
true.
Okay. Remember what Mike was saying about gaslighting and not trusting the media anymore. That's why I don't believe that all these guys are untrained because
Yeah, it's not
that's the
true.
phrase du
I'm
jour
asking
now.
you again. My point is
Okay,
the
so
gentleman that shot Renee Good
so the
Shouldn't have
is
stood in
not
front
problem,
of the
so
car.
doing proper
everybody was getting
procedure.
along. Everything was great until this guy stepped in front of the car. Like everyone was just getting along, playing
It was
patty
kind
cake.
of. Did you
There
see
were
her
no issues.
her comment
She
into his camera?
Well,
They
totally
already
sarcastic,
asked
Tor,
dude.
her
He
to
gave
get
her
Tor,
an
out of the
order.
car.
He gave
Tor,
her
for
Wait.
your
Wait.
an
Time
argument,
out.
order, dude.
Again,
Wait. Time
If
Why
you
out.
get
Time
an
nobody
out.
is
Can
order,
I?
mentioning this? They
Wait.
already asked her to get out of the car
what
I,
part of
that's
and
not
having
the
an
drive
point.
order
away.
given to
That is
you?
not the point. I asked you about procedure, and I asked you if he did things exactly right.
She
Maybe he
was
how
didn't.
about
I don't
this?
know.
Hold
Maybe he
on,
didn't.
please,
Tor,
Maybe he
Tor,
didn't.
hold
Maybe
on.
he
So he
didn't.
deserved to
That's
get run down.
important to
can
accept.
I make a
Right?
Sure, I'm
statement?
okay with that. He
So my
wasn't
point
supposed to
is,
stand in
What's
front
the
of the
point?
car.
What's the point?
Can I make a statement?
I asked you if he's
As
well
a
trained.
human being, if somebody is standing in front of your car,
Yeah, do
You
you hit the
don't
you
gun it.
don't
gas?
try and fucking run them down. And I'm not yelling
And
at
I
you,
don't think
Tor.
actually she did. I think
She,
if you look,
Dude,
How can
her
you
the
have it both
wheel was
videos,
ways?
turning. She was turning around him. She
she
was
Dude,
she
trying to
gunned it.
at
She
him.
gunned the
dude,
car.
his body
You
cam
see the
shows.
tires turn away from him. You
no, the
see the
tires
car. You
spin
see her
and you
move
see
her car.
him push.
Tor, we
Right?
disagree
I
a
Okay.
mean, this
lot.
is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
I
All
mean,
right.
Seriously,
this,
Tor. I mean, you're gonna
Wait.
relitigate this for
Wait.
real?
Can
I
I?
mean,
Wait, guys.
No,
that's why we
Guys.
I'm
have
not.
this problem.
I
That's
no
why
No.
we have
listen.
this
Time out.
problem.
Time out. Time
The
out.
question was
Time
simple.
out.
My question was,
Time
did you
out.
think he was
Hi,
well
Oh, time
trained?
Carlos
out
talking.
means time out.
Sure.
As far as these people are concerned, what I don't like about the fact that that woman was even there doing what she was doing, and Preddy was there doing what he was doing, it's all because they have these signal chats. They're totally organized. They run license plates. They dox officers, and they're even conducting their own unauthorized. They're conducting their own unauthorized road stops. Where they're stopping cars and saying, "Let us see your papers. Let us see your papers because your license
someone
plate."
to try that on me. Like, I would love someone to try that, Tor. If someone came up to you, like some schmo, and they had like pallets and stuff, and you had your kid in the back seat, and they came up and they're blocking you and telling you to roll down your window, is that rational?
And get out of the car.
And get out of the car, dude. I would freaking that would be a big fucking problem. It would be on the news for sure, 100%. And same for a lot of people because that is a criminal action. It's the same thing that would happen if someone tried to break in my house or assault me somewhere else. You don't stand in the middle of the road and block people.
No one's saying anybody deserved to die. The problem is
that, but they're provoking it. They are provoking it.
And
then you're looking at the cops and being like, well, he shouldn't have stood in front of the car.
None of us
I'm like,
saying they deserve it.
Then they deserved it.
No, none of us saying that. No.
I'm not saying that. They shouldn't have been out there in the first place. It's because of their mayor, and it's because of their governor, and it's because of the shitty media we have that are calling people Gestapo and hyping people up to go out there and do this stupid shit.
And I don't even understand why they're doing it. I mean, you're talking about people that have defrauded you billions of fucking dollars.
Hold on. I wanted to ask about that too, because Mike, you said that the Somalis defrauded, and there was a big number on it.
I didn't.
How many?
Yeah, it's in the billions. I don't know the exact
and my
amount.
question
And it
is,
depends.
How many people are you talking about in the Somali community that did that defrauding?
It's I think 72 have been arrested.
So 72 out of how many people?
Okay, but
this is important. This is important.
No, they're illegal.
72 bad people.
Okay, no,
out of the Somali community.
More than that. This is how they're doing it. People are filling out false paperwork. People are getting paid kickbacks to say, I'm taking little Johnny to this daycare center, which they never take him to. And little Johnny gets taken to this daycare center and this daycare center and this daycare center, like 20 of them. So these people are getting money. It's not just the people that are running it. It's like most of the community.
Entire community is.
You have the AG, Attorney General Ellison, who is on video basically being told, like, you need to support us or you need to protect us from this stuff. And he's like, okay. And they're like, we'll contribute money to you. And like, it's like literally like envelopes of cash being handed back and forth to this point. That is not just 72 people.
Corrupt.
Wait, hey, Toar, if the entire community, I don't care if they are or not. If the entire community, shouldn't be here because they're illegal, then they got to go.
Dude, the entire community is supporting it. When you have like someone like Nick Shirley go up, he's getting like accosted. He's getting people yelling at him. There's like no-go zones. I mean, what are you talking about? It's at least 50%. It's the community.
Sure. You're putting
it's not 72 people.
They're all
people are like, it's not just the Somalis. We said this on another podcast. People are like, well, it's not just the Somalis. I'm like, okay, it's 97% Somalis because it was like
and that's what I said earlier
that weren't Somali that got arrested. And then I got to sit here.
That I'm anti-Somali.
I don't give a shit about
the
whether
people
they're
that are
Somali or
committing
not.
the crimes happen to be Somali.
That's what I'm saying. Who cares? I don't care who they are. The fact is, that's what they are.
The point is that you went from 72 people have been arrested to 50%.
So only people that get arrested are guilty.
To 50% of the communities involved.
At least, probably.
To the Somali community.
No, I went to 50%.
Only 72 of them has been because has been proven.
In Minnesota.
But there are 100 people that they work for that 72 people that have been arrested.
Look,
there are many people that do work for them, but for now they have nothing on them. They're just an employee.
Not every
now they have arrested the ones that they have paper and document on them that they have done the fraud. But there are many people who work for those 72.
I am not for fraud. I'm not defending fraud.
Nobody thinks
who you are defending exactly.
Tor, you're an honorable
I'm defending
guy.
the fact that you say that some people are fraudulent and that are doing things that are
what is
illegal.
This? What is this like the Scouts? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I can't make a generality when I look at this community that is obviously stealing billions of dollars. I mean, billions of dollars from the state out of our pockets, your pocket, everyone's pocket, and then you're knocking me saying like, oh man, it's not the whole community. Okay, okay, what percentage is it? I don't know. They're certainly compliant with it. They're
We
certainly
have
looking
not
the
seen
other
any
way
other
with it.
race. You
Uh,
not
uh,
there is
It's
a
that
wait,
this
they're
guy that does
corrupt. It's a
knock on their door.
corrupt subset of people in Minnesota that are doing this. And
and
yes,
All the
And that's
Somalis.
what I
writ
was saying.
wait.
large,
All
not every
Somalis.
It's
individual,
all a
but
Yeah.
matter
as a
of
community,
perspective.
Yeah,
All
all
the
of them.
But Tor, what if I'm a
Absolutely.
Somali and I get picked up and I had nothing to do with it? I don't have kids. I never
Then
played
you're
pretend.
fucked. You're
I
going to get
never stole
deported.
$100.
You're
But
not
I'm
getting
here. But I
deported.
no. But
You're
I'm
going to get
here.
deported.
But I'm here illegally.
Then you
Yeah,
get
you're going to get
deported.
deported.
If you're
That's
here
fine.
illegally.
But
Yeah.
That's there. You
yeah,
go. I'm
sure,
okay
have a
with it.
great time. Like I don't have a problem with
So what is
I
your
don't have a
problem
problem with
exactly?
cracking down on illegal immigration.
So
I
what
have
is
a
your
problem
problem
with
exactly
how it
with
is
this
being done.
investigation?
I
How
don't
is it
think that
being done? It's being done. That's how it's
it,
being done.
How?
I just
Where was
told you
this?
that I
Where?
do not. I think that part of the issue is the fact that they are anonymous.
How is it be? No,
I
Who is
that's
don't.
not.
anonymous?
That's an
This
excuse
this is hold
for.
on. No,
That
it's
is
not an
such an
excuse.
excuse.
When I get pulled over by a police officer and I say name and badge number, they have to give me their name and
So
badge
these
number.
people like so Alex Preddy would
So
get the
first
name and
you're
badge number,
asking
be like,
me.
okay, I'm just going to stand here on the
My
sidewalk.
point
I'm
is
not going
that
to
the
fight. I'm not going to
outrage is fueled
because
by
they're
the fact.
getting their families
Hold
are
on,
getting
hold
threatened
on,
with
hold on,
death. That's
hold
why it's a
on.
big deal. And
So
all this
okay, first
That is
Pollyannish
the cost of doing
gaslighting,
business.
that's the
okay,
cost to do it.
Tor,
Well,
you're
then it's like
asking
For
then
one
get
being in law
question.
then
enforcement,
getting
that is the
shot, then
cost of
getting
doing
shot in the
business.
face is the cost of doing business for being an
The
idiot.
Hold
cost of
on.
doing business
Hold
is
on.
for law
Tor, you're
enforcement is
asking
that you
one
Wait,
have
wait,
to
question.
wait,
Wait,
wait, wait,
identify.
wait,
wait.
wait. Let's
Wait.
quiet down for
I
a
have a
second.
question. Okay,
Lena,
about
wait, wait.
no,
Lena, Lena wants to
wait.
say
I
something.
know, but Tori's talking about anonymity of the officers being the issue,
The
and what I'm
issue.
saying is, how the fuck is it the issue? Like, why
Yeah.
does it matter?
Why
Why
is
does
that
it
an
matter at
issue?
all?
It
They're
matters a
federal.
ton
Do
to
we know?
me.
Wait, do we know the identities of the officers who shot the two people?
Yes.
I guess the
Yeah,
Zeus was
Now
saying
we
no.
Raimundo
do.
and
Okay,
Jose
okay, so we know who
or
those people
Jesus.
are, right?
So
Yeah.
yeah, problem
Okay,
solved.
okay. Well then, for
Then
these
we
other
know.
guys that are trying to do it the right way, whose lives are being threatened, who are getting their hotels trashed.
Jack, do you think all of them are doing it the right way?
Well, I mean,
So
you're going to
all
have
of
This is
them?
an
body cams.
important
You're
question,
going to
Jack.
get no. You're going to get the body cams, Tor. So what
Yes,
else do
let's
you
get
need
those
to
body
know?
cams because that will certainly help the situation.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but
what
but
if, wait,
Tor,
wait,
but
I got a
Tor,
better
but
one. What if
Tor, what
somebody
about the
works,
body
wait,
cam?
Zeus, wait up. What if somebody works for the FBI and the CIA? Do I get to know their identity too?
They have to identify themselves, Jack. Yes, they
A
do.
CIA agent has to identify himself?
Well,
They're not working on American soil, are
they're
they?
not a peace officer.
How that is even related?
I'm just saying peace
First, you're
CIA
officer.
is not,
asking.
they're not peace officers.
I have a
FBI, they
question.
have to identify themselves.
I'm saying they're
Police
not.
have to identify themselves.
I have a
That is
question.
cost of doing business for law enforcement.
FBI is. CIA is not.
I
CIA
have a
does
question.
not have to identify themselves.
They also not allowed to
Why?
work on American soil, though, technically, right, Mike?
Technically.
Yeah.
I don't
But
believe
that's the
that though.
point, right?
Yeah,
The point is the
yeah.
protections for
Okay,
the
I know.
citizens.
Okay,
The
but
protections are for us.
okay, but the whole point is that's fantastic until all this shit starts happening. Then it's not cool anymore. Then
What
people are
shit?
having their home
Can I say
If
having
something?
their
they
hotel.
do things that are
Have you seen
bad,
what
First
they're
of
doing
all,
then
at their
that's
hotels?
the fruit
Beating
of the
cars,
poisonous tree.
punching people. Like you haven't seen any. I mean, am I the one bringing this to you? Have you seen the hotels getting attacked? Have you seen where they're like going in and like trying to burn down precincts and stuff? I mean,
okay, I'm gonna
what
call you
the
out on this,
how? What
Tor.
are they supposed to
First,
be
you're
like?
asking why it didn't happen. It didn't happen like that in other previous presidents. Then you're saying why we're saying Somalis. Then you're saying well, how many people, and now you're saying why they don't identify themselves. I'm gonna call you out on that. When we give you a response, you move on to another question that is totally irrelevant. I'm telling you, how is it irrelevant to for the officer to identify themselves, tell them it. So when they put the guy down and they're fighting, they have to introduce themselves so that problem solved. What we are talking about here is someone interfering, a police officer, a job, and you get the price for it. I'm not saying this is unfortunate. I'm not saying they deserve it. But one thing we need to know, let me ask you this. You get a guy in your door and on your window and try to break your window. What you do? You're gonna introduce yourself and then stay there and talk nicely to them and be like, okay, let me ask you, what is the reason that you want to break my window? Is it essential? Are you legal? Are you not legal? Bro, it's a fucking police operation. You get involved, what do you want to get?
Also,
That's my point.
they're wearing insignia
around and find
across
out.
their flak jacket.
That's
It
my
says
point.
ICE, it
So
says Border
introducing
Patrol.
or not introducing doesn't solve anything. We already know the
You've asked.
agent's
No, hold on.
name.
I'll
What else
answer your
you want to
question now,
know?
Lena. I'll answer your question now, Lena. You want to know why lefties are upset about how it's being done right now. Why is it? Why did it not happen under Obama? Why was there no protests under Obama? Why is it happening now? That's a question you just asked me, right?
I know why it's happening.
Okay, Tour,
my
what?
opinion, or do you want to know?
No,
Yeah, I wanna know,
yours.
too.
I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you were
I
asking.
know
Part of the
actually.
reason is the fact that they are anonymous, the fact that they do not have to identify themselves.
They
the
have
fact
it
that
written on their
They're
thing.
wearing the
Oh,
whole outfit.
so you
but
have a
that's
list
irrelevant.
of the,
My point is, again, the way due process works, the way that that Mirandizing works, that's for everybody.
No, it's not.
You,
It
so
is
if
not.
we have
That
a
is
list
not
of the
you don't have to be
officers,
Mirandized in this
not
country
not
if you're
if you
arrested.
have not if you have a federal order of deportation, a final order against you.
But
No, you
again,
do not.
we're not talking.
This is
Do
not
you
criminal
really
law.
think,
This
Mike,
is
that all of these arrests that are happening have a final order of deportation on them?
absolutely, they have a
yes.
criminal
Every
risk.
single one
There
of them.
have there
They're
been
not
there
going to the
have
Home Depots and picking people up and asking for papers.
there have been people that have been detained because they were like,
So what's your
oh,
problem
it's an
even if they
American
do that?
citizen gets
Yeah,
detained because they're in a car with an illegal alien. They get detained and they get released. There have been no American citizens that are being deported.
it's not
It's
American
not
citizens
happening.
that have the right to be Mirandized. It's anybody in the country.
So wait a minute, you're
Not
saying
if
you
they
have no problem
Yeah,
to
everybody needs
deport
to be Mirandized. You need to know your rights.
Tor, wait.
That's
You're
not
saying
100% accurate.
you don't want any illegal immigrant here, even if they have done something or nothing. Illegal out, right? You just said that. So
I
what's
don't
your
have a problem
problem?
with people going after illegal immigrants. The reality
So
is
you're saying they shouldn't go to Home Depot and look for them? How you want them to look for it exactly? What's your problem the way that they do
my
it?
point. I don't have a problem with illegal immigrants. I don't
So
have
you
people that
don't?
come here to work for this
Do you
country.
have
That,
do
hold
you have
on,
a family
please.
in your house?
Hold on.
Are
Hold
you
on.
protecting one family right
Lena,
now in
let
your
him
house?
speak.
We
Let him
gonna
speak.
we're gonna send one family to your house right now. Are you
Are
agreeing?
you eating food that is picked by illegal immigrants?
No.
Yeah,
Illegal?
you probably are.
So we need
Right?
a permanent
Wait, so now
subclass
you're
I
of
don't want
switching
people.
our, so wait, so we
No,
want
I'm
no,
just
we
saying
need
we
a
that
want a
she's
slave
telling me
slave
that
class.
I'm
labor
not.
force.
I
We
need
need
Yes,
a
to
right.
slave class
harbor
here.
an illegal in order
I don't want people
for my
working in the
arguments to make to
Yeah,
hold
me
I
too. I
don't
don't
want
want a
people
slave.
working in the
I don't want a
showers.
slave. No, I don't
I don't
want a
want a
slave.
second tier of citizens. I want
No, me
everyone to
too.
be equal. That's what
Me
I want.
too.
I
Great.
don't
Me
and
too.
it's not okay. So they're picking my lettuce. So now like, it's okay that they live in the shadows and have to be illegal and
Yeah,
their kids can't do anything. Like that sucks. I don't want that. They
And
exactly.
also,
steal.
wait, and
I want
also,
people to
what
come
about the
here and be
fact?
citizens.
Wait, and also, should they be allowed to vote too? Should they be allowed to drive? I mean,
No.
come on, Tor.
Drive, sure.
That's what's happening. And also, what about our hospitals, our schools,
That's
our
what I'm
roads? What
saying.
about the fact that millions of them are on government assistance somehow because somebody gave them fucking numbers and then they were able to qualify?
So where's the fraud there?
The country cannot
Also,
handle tens of
look,
millions of people that are not supposed to be here. It's just
Sure.
they can't. We can't do it,
and
and
plus
so it's time to go.
the
Get
Biden
rid of them all.
administration and Mayorkas, right? You had to listen to Mayorkas for 4 years say about,
Oh, that
well,
bald head.
we need Congress to like come up with a law to close the border because we can't do it and blah blah blah. And then like meanwhile, 2 weeks after Trump becomes president, it's closed. That is why people like
How many
Donald
illegal
Trump.
immigrants are in
That's why they
Texas?
like him. That's why they like him. I don't know
That's
how
why he
many are in
won.
Texas. That's why he won.
How many illegal immigrants are in Texas? I saw a number today.
I don't know.
1.9 million, something like that.
That's
How many
insane.
are illegals in Minnesota? Something like 300,000.
Yeah, I know
Why are we going to
Jersey's got about
Minnesota and not
500,000.
Texas?
Because we're going to Minnesota because they are a sanctuary city and they're not calling ICE. They're not honoring
There's
the
1.9
detainers.
million in Texas.
They
Why
are
we
in Texas.
Listen,
So-
here's
so
what it
they
comes
are
down
in
to.
Texas.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
they?
Remember, Tor, they got
Can
shot
I
at in
interject for a
Texas.
second?
They
got shot at.
immigrants, two
It
illegal
just became
immigrants
a
were
he said, she
murdered
said. I knew it
by
was
somebody.
Bermudez.
So
They
now
can I
we're
interject
moving,
for a
why
second?
Minnesota, why not Texas? Trust me,
are
they
in
do it all
Texas.
over the places.
All
They do it all
here.
over
They're in
places. They do it
DC.
in Texas. They
Whenever
do
you
it in
guys are done,
Minnesota.
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead, Zeus.
There has to be a rule of law. And whether you like it or not, that's understandable. You can be dissatisfied with the situation that is placed in front of you. That's fine. And Tor, honestly,
And vote.
And
yeah,
vote.
vote, but vote legally, first of all, and that's a whole nother episode right there.
Oh.
But the point is that to your point about whether they should wear masks or not, I firmly believe they should. And
Disagree, but yeah, fine.
it's not so much that that's the side that I'm on. It's the fact that these are men and women that have children and wives that they have to keep safe.
And there's precedent.
So so
Okay, I'm gonna actually
to
add
you,
one thing.
Tor, I would
Have
like
you
to
seen the
ask.
video? There is one video that two girls are taking picture with ICE agents out of a restaurant, and a fucking dude, old dude, creepy dude, goes there with a couple other girls. They screaming at those two girls that taking picture with the ICE agent. They're like, "Oh, you cunt! Oh, you cunt! This is you are the problem in this country. You cunt!" They call them cunt in the middle of the street. They follow
What's
the.
your language? You know what, Lena? Your language is a little unacceptable in a sense.
I'm repeating.
She's quoting. She's quoting.
Exactly. I was coding this dude calling two girls in the street that they just took a picture with. So imagine if these wild people that they bite off the officer's finger, they know
Yeah.
their identity.
That's
Are
ridiculous.
so now this is your problem? You keep asking different questions and you move on.
And that's a big part of what I'm saying is like perspective is so much a part of everything that we're seeing right now. If you look at the left, they got this vibe of fucking everybody is a fascist. And may I just make the point that fascist, if we're going to call fascist Nazis, fascists were left. They were fucking hardcore left.
Dude,
one more addict, actually. Do you know what Nazis and the left people that they call us Nazi have in common?
What's that?
They both hate Jews. Who's Nazi? Who's Nazi? They call us Nazi.
You're saying the left hates Jews?
And allow me to digress just a little bit. I'm gonna buy another firearm because I just don't feel like
you only have two hands, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, man,
look,
the world is a really weird, dark place.
Well, Zeus, don't buy a Sig Sauer 9mm pistol. Just don't.
No, I'm gonna get a Kel-Tec sub 2000 foldable.
All right, we got it. You're gonna get another gun.
So you want to identify the officers, even though we know the names of the ones that getting involved in things, the serious things. But can you identify the corporations that they hired these protesters? Why don't you ask for identification of those people? Why do you never ask for identification of the protesters?
Like the pallets of bricks outside of fucking.
This is the guy in LinkedIn. His name is Naftali, which is Afghani name. Ehren Kraz, I don't know how to say that. Come work with me. Get Free, the name of the company is Get Free, is hiring for a part-time mobilization support contractor. We're seeking out people with 4 years plus experience in leading direct action and large-scale mobilization, demonstration, and civil disobedience protesters. They're hiring protesters.
Well, and not protesters, but
yeah, they are hiring protesters.
They're not protesting.
Yeah, they're obstructing.
And they pay them. Here, go look for it. It's in the LinkedIn. It's Naftali Ehrenkranz. I can send it to you.
But
Why you
here's
don't ask for the identification of
but
these
listen,
people that they're hiring them?
here's the thing, and
The
to
police
just
work for us.
but
I
to
don't know about
answer,
private corporations or private corporations. Police.
No. They are
No,
the
but
real
that's
criminals.
irrelevant
They are the
because
one. We need to know the
you asked me
criminals.
why I want to know about the police and not private corporations.
so
The
but
police work for us.
She's saying,
Private
why don't you want to
corporations?
know who's funding
Law
these?
enforcement works for us.
That's my point. Who is funding them? Who is hiring them? Why hiring them? Why there was no company like this hiring them in Obama time? That's the problem. It was done exactly same way, but there was not company funding them to send this people, to send this stupid people there.
Well, and also
Tour,
they're trying to take stone to metal. They're trying to create sparks. What they want and what I fear is going to happen once the weather warms up is we're going to see more of this crap in every major American city, to the point where Trump's going to have to use the military, and that's what they want.
Jack, if they get body cams, then that's not going to be the case.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah,
I absolutely believe that. That's a step in the right direction for me into getting away from the idea that these anonymous patrols are. You guys think that anonymous is okay?
No,
I don't think it is.
Look,
it's just totally.
Listen,
I'm sure once they get
important.
Can I disagree with that?
Listen, words are important. Okay, these are not people driving around in like what I'm wearing, right? They have clear insignia that they are law enforcement officers.
Can you go buy that
at
law enforcement?
You're going to go around 5 of your friends and all get that, and for what reason?
You can.
What do you? But
you can,
for what
right?
reason? I mean,
to cause trouble. Like, right?
To cause trouble. I mean,
that's what these people are doing.
If
you're saying that people don't impersonate police officers?
Okay, so if that's the case, why isn't it happening now? Because they can wear masks. So why aren't all these troublemakers out there dressing as ICE people? Where are they? Causing all this mayhem. It's not happening.
The point is, if you don't know, as an American citizen, if I get pulled over by somebody that won't identify themselves, what am I supposed to do? Am I really supposed to comply with somebody that just has police on their shirt that won't identify? That if I say, "What's your name and badge number?"
So that's
different operation.
So you're
different
telling me,
operation, different procedures.
Let me just follow up. So you're saying, is your point that if ICE agents and Border Patrol agents who are carrying out these actions, that if they didn't have a mask on, that it would be like Andy Griffith's show, everything would be great?
No, I'm not saying that, but it certainly wouldn't be. Hold on, you want to go to the extreme, but it's
that's the extreme. That's what you're saying. You said
no, I'm not. I'm saying that
only issue is that they're anonymous.
No, hold on.
Your only
I have
issue.
issues about their anonymity. I have issues about them not having body cams. You're telling me that they're going to get
body cams. Yeah.
Not yet. They don't. They're getting
the guy who shot Renee Good had a body cam on.
No, he did not. He was shooting with his phone.
Yeah, he did.
He was shooting with his phone.
Okay. My mistake.
That's not a body cam.
Okay.
That's
very different. He was recording it for his own protection.
A body cam is very different from a phone, right?
I got you. Then we all agree on body cams.
Yes, but see, that's my point. You start going in the direction of body cams, take away their anonymity.
So there's not enough cameras.
Of a sudden, there is less to protest then. Because you're doing things the right way.
Tor, they're not protesting. They're not protesting the anonymity. They're not protesting the body cams.
That's the problem that I have, Jack.
No, and that's what.
But it's not going to stop. It's not going to. I get you, Tor. I get that, but that's not going to stop the protests.
Tor, you are rational, so I get that.
I totally get where you're coming from.
No, but what
I
I'm
think
saying
it's
is
an ill-based.
I agree. Look,
argument.
If that's the way you feel about it, that's fantastic. My point, what I'm disagreeing with, is if you are saying that is why we are seeing all this stuff going on. I can't get.
I think that is absolutely part of it.
Sense.
You're telling me that it's strictly because some people are being paid to protest and they're being
100%. Okay. And it's a sanctuary city.
That's the only thing. That's the only reason.
No. A lot of these people are. I told you the reason.
They're doing that. I have, guys. The reason I wanted to come on this show.
Tor. They're doing it because it's Trump.
They're doing it because it's Trump. Orange man bad. He's the worst person ever. He's Hitler. He's a Nazi. Look, the whole reason.
I have a question because we're going to end here very soon, and
this is where
I wanted to get to begin with. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do y'all think you're good people?
I know I am.
I know I am.
You have a lot of hate in your heart, though.
How
I have
do I
no
hate
hate
my
in my
heart
heart at all?
How do I have hate in my heart? Who do I hate?
Mike, not as much you, but Zeus has said it. Zeus said, "I hate the
I have
left. I hate
no
liberals."
hate in my heart.
Here
Well,
we are.
where's
We're
the hate?
changing another subject.
Yeah, I am changing the subject because this is what I wanted to talk about to begin with, because I
Hate.
knew this was just going to be a big.
That's a really offensive thing to say, Tor.
No, I'm asking the question because to me,
You just said we have
goodness.
hate.
You're the one that
I'm
wanted to have
hateful.
a slave to pick up your
Not
food.
hateful. I'm not out here. Look, the whole
I did
reason
not
this
want
is
to say I
going
wanted to
on
say
in
pick up my food.
Minnesota, it's not
Yeah,
like
I have
it's not
heard
like,
people washing
listen,
the
it's not
toilets.
like ICE went to Minnesota just started like causing shit happening left and right. It's the reason it happened is it's a sanctuary city. We had an administration that no one wants to talk about that brought in almost 20 million people in this country, flew them in into the interior of the country.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their administration was saying, "Oh, we can't do anything about it." They brought 20 million people into a country of 340 million people, and they are not interested in assimilating. They don't want them to assimilate. The Democrat Party, you want to talk about evil and hate? Look at the Democrat Party, man. I'm talking
Sure.
about the party.
Violent.
I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking
And
about the party.
Tor, I'm not going to attack you on this, but everybody on this show will say that I am the least hateful person that you will ever meet.
I'm not going to
Sure.
defend myself against that. It's a ridiculous statement.
No, I'm not.
I have
No, he asked a
no hate in
question.
my
Listen,
heart.
hold
I
on,
may
hold on. I
say
didn't mean to
stupid things.
insinuate that you're not good people, right? My point is, when I'm listening to you guys talk, and I listened to the Renee Good show, there was a lot of broad strokes. They, right? A lot of they do this, the left, the
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
but I'm part of that,
I
and I
don't
don't
think you are.
feel. Well,
I'm
but
talking
I
about the
am
organized.
because of the
Okay.
broad strokes that you paint.
Okay. I'm talking about media. I'm talking about the party. I'm talking
But,
about the people making these
but you don't
decisions.
make those distinctions, though.
But Tor,
Okay.
to call
You
me
talk about
I'm
hateful,
also not a professional
Tor,
politician or a professional
But you're
commentator. I don't get
you're
paid for
saying that
this.
here,
Renee Good and Alex Preddy were
They
part
were
of that.
stupid. They were really
No,
stupid.
I think they were victims of what he's talking
They
about.
were
This is what I'm
victims.
talking about.
Yeah.
Is there? But you paint them in broad strokes to say that they are now bad people who
no,
fucked
No,
around
I
They're
and
never
found
said they
stupid
were
out.
bad
people.
people.
no,
I'm
we're not saying
horrified they
that
were
at
killed.
all.
I'm horrified they were killed. They should not be dead right now. They
Yeah,
should not be
It's a
dead right now.
sad,
It's horrible.
it's
they were
horrible.
not bad
Yeah.
people. They were stupid.
Yeah, I don't like death. I don't like death. I don't like people getting hurt. I don't like any of that stuff,
And
which is
also,
why I
Tor,
like law and order.
wait, we did a whole episode on hate, and I don't know if you saw that one. And we
That's
tried
a
to
good
sort of,
one.
yeah, that's a good one. You might want to go back and watch that one,
You
Tor.
should watch
It's
that
pretty
one.
good.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I mean to answer your question from my perspective, I do consider myself a good person. I don't see what that
Well, I
even has to
try.
do.
Yeah.
I don't see what that even has to do with this particular issue. I
but
think what the government is doing needs to be done. I think what these people are doing, I think they're duped to a large extent. I think some of them are paid. We know that for facts, but most of them aren't. Most of them have been duped. I really believe that, and
fine.
I think that their government, their local government, has almost encouraged them to
Very much.
behave this way, and
Yeah.
it's
Sure,
gotten people killed.
It's gotten
Yes,
people hurt
sure.
absolutely. And we
on
should
all.
not normalize this to go and interrupt the police officers' operation. We should not normalize this. You respect the law or law and order. You want to protest, you peaceful protest. We're not even allowed to sit in the street and block traffic. That's not even peaceful. So let alone going and interrupting an
Sure.
operation, an ICE operation. This is real. This is about our homeland security. This is our home. Whenever, if anybody removes their doors and walls on their house, and then they come here and they talk to me and like, I don't have any borders, so no borders, then we can talk. We need borders. We need everybody that is illegal out of this. I'm an immigrant. This is a slap in my face. People walking in here. We're not saying those people are bad. Let's say not everybody is bad, okay? But if I would have crossed this country illegally, I would be ready. If I get caught, I would get back. and I would not cuss Americans that America is bad, America is racist. No, I would know that this is my action. I'm taking a 50-50 risk. Either I get away with it or I get caught. A lot of people, when I was seeking asylum, were sitting in a boat and going to different countries. They wanted to take their chance because they didn't want to wait going through the interviews and wait 2 years and work their ass off. This is a slap in my face. I'm not saying everybody is bad, but they are crossing the law and order. And my law and order is protect my house and the government protecting this country. Let's not normalize that to defending a criminal. We are normalizing this, keep saying, oh, they don't deserve it, oh, they don't deserve it, oh, what happened? The guy was on the ground, he is struggling. Why don't you give up, let them to handcuff you, and if you have done nothing, they let you go. But we don't know if that moment he really reached for that fucking loaded gun. And this is not a Fortnite game. These officers don't have 9 lives. The smallest chance can take their lives away. So
God damn, Lena, you're fucking.
They are ready. They have to. As soon as they see a threat, they have to shoot that motherfucker because otherwise they're gonna get killed. Do you think they're gonna wait? They're gonna wait to fix. They don't deserve it. But
that's what you just said.
No, she didn't say that.
I did not say that.
But Lena, can I say that in this very moment? I love
you are pointing a gun at me,
fucking fiber of my being.
If you are threatening me, I will shoot you.
Sure.
But I'm not saying you deserve it. Maybe you were on a drug.
Wait. And to Lena's
if I'm an officer, I'm not saying right now.
She's got a fucking AR-15. She is a badass.
Okay. Let's not dox people's firearms.
One thing I need to really make clear here, and because of what I really feel the big issue is we have to use what you were saying, Tor, good people, and I think we are, and I think the majority of people are good people in this country and in the world, but there is a cynical
manipulated
group of people. Who I would say is a Democrat Party hierarchy, who are setting things in motion, like bringing in 20 million people illegally and lying and gaslighting the American public by saying there's nothing they can do about it. And there's a certain point where, like that game Mousetrap, where you start the ball and it goes and all these things. So all the Rube Goldberg machine is all running. They set it up to run that way. And so to get to like the end where the little basket goes down and captures the mouse, I'm really screwing up my metaphors here. And then to say like that's the problem and ignore all of the deception and all of the gaslighting that happened before it.
Well,
to me,
I think that the problem is
it's just cynical.
Mike,
we're not cynical.
I understand what you're saying, and I have just as much.
And let's make this last argument. Hold on, guys. Let's make this the last argument to wrap it up.
Sure. The biggest problem that I have is you continually say that it's all the left. And
it's not about that.
Hold on.
Wait, let him finish, man.
Yeah, just let him finish.
The left is doing the gaslighting. The left is the problem.
Yep.
There's no self-reflection to say, could the right be part of the problem? And this is interesting. Hold on.
Yeah,
because one of the things that I thought about when I met you guys, was it during COVID, I think, 4 years ago?
We started right after.
Yeah, it was shortly after that, because I remember I came on with a mask as a joke. I feel like that you guys were libertarian by bent, right?
I would say that's accurate.
Okay, and I feel like that you've moved more towards MAGA than libertarian.
No,
hold on. This is a perception. This is a perception.
No, that's cool. It's cool. It's a perception.
Hold on. And the reason that I say that is I think of libertarianism as skepticism towards all government.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I don't see that skepticism towards the current government.
You got to look back at our earlier episodes.
Okay, well, I'm identifying.
No, he's saying that we changed.
That we changed.
I say things like,
I don't think we've changed at all.
They have done that.
I'm no special pleader for government. Yeah.
Hold on, but when I say things like the
I don't
whites
like
should identify themselves if you have a healthy skepticism for government, you can at least look at that and say, maybe they should. And I think that that's where the issue that I had and why I got in touch with Jack last week or 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
was because you guys blanket to say the left and they, and then don't do any self-reflection on what's possible with the right.
And
Talk about,
okay,
hold on, you talk
Tor,
about the left media, but
Well,
we
they
know
run it.
Fox
They
and
run it, yeah.
Newsmax and even
but Tor,
CNN now has moved much more to the right. CNN's biggest donor is Larry, somebody, I don't remember his name, who intentionally said he wants to move CNN away from the lefty position and more towards a centrist or right position.
Well,
and
they
and
should.
They
and you know what,
should.
Sure, but
Tor, I
again,
agree with you on that, but I don't feel like that is the
Do
action that is happening. I Tor, this is actually probably the best episode with you where we were not just like fucking trying to shred you on everything.
well,
I
okay.
I, I
We don't
admire
usually do that
your wait,
anyway.
hold on. I admire your capability to see where we're coming from and not just fucking try and shred us on every level. And I think that's a big thing. And I think in the the attitude that I always wanted to start with this podcast, and you guys will all back me up on this, is that I want to have a place where we can disagree, but do it in a kind and cordial manner. And this was a great episode for that. Like
It
there
got a
was
little
some
heated, I would say.
fearsome.
Yeah, but we don't hate each other.
Yeah, no. And I
No,
think
we never do.
and wait, and also
there's
Tor,
mutual
I'll
respect for everybody here.
I'll just
Believe
give
me.
Yeah.
Tor, I'll give you a lot of credit because you are sort of the lone wolf in this group as far as your position on this issue,
Absolutely.
and and you go back and forth, and you make good points. The anonymity
You
issue,
just shit
maybe
all over us.
maybe there's something to that. I understand why they're not, and that's why I disagree with you. But either way, man, this was a good podcast.
That's a
You
great
held
one.
your own. I'm very happy with this pod. Now, I don't know. I almost don't want to wrap this up because I'm enjoying it so much.
Well, let's keep
But
going.
we have no, we have
No.
we have been on for a while,
All
and
right.
it's after 11. So I think
Yeah.
at the very least we should wrap it up. And if you're still following us, please tune in again next week. We'll be back. Tor, thank you very much. Lena,
Thanks,
thank you
guys.
very much.
Or
That's,
dude,
You
you're
guys,
epic.
you guys are
You,
welcome all the time.
Had a blast, man.
and I tend to go head to head with Tor, and Tor, you were to a degree where I was very pleased. No. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find the right words.
good night.
We usually go head to head, and you
his English.
acknowledge certain things that were not normally in your scope of belief, I guess. I was really impressed with how you came across this one. And that could be, the argument could be, oh, you agreed with whatever Zeus said or whatever Mike said or Jack or Lena, but I'd like to say that I think that maybe you came to a ground, or more common ground where we could all agree, and that is so
I
much.
didn't get that at all.
Well, that's what I feel.
Well,
No,
the
okay.
point is we can have a healthy conversation. We don't want
Yes.
to
Yeah.
throw
And that is
stone at each other. We're not
so
gonna
good.
attack each other. We're gonna have a conversation.
It got a little
And
heated. It was good.
humanity
I don't
can
know. I'm gonna wear a
stay
mask next episode,
when we have a conversation.
just like Tor did the first time. I'm
Mike, I love you so
gonna be
much.
anonymous. All
All
right.
right, guys. Good night. See you
Thanks,
next
everybody.
time.
Take care, everybody.
Wrap it up.